Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. Actually, I'm not ready yet, so let me go to live stream. I need to get my juice. My juice running. And I'm alive. Good morning, Break the Loop. So, this is a grape juice. This is what I drink. I drink juice every day, half a bottle almost every day for like 20 years. This is my water. Grape. This is I always drink 100% juice. It must say 100%. So no sugar, nothing like that. Um, sometimes it's apple juice, grape juice, red grape or white grape, apple juice, pineapple juice. I love pineapple juice, and they must always be 100% juice. It says, there's a law that says, in order to put that 100%, you must have, juice. But they are usually made from concentrate. They not supposedly fresh fruit, juice is almost always better, but those are more expensive. And some people think that this juice, from concentrate and stuff, they don't think it's good. Actually, I think that's not true. There's no chemical, no sugar, and that's although it's concentrate, meaning they extract the juice, they evaporate the water, something like that, then they add the water back. But I don't think it's bad. So I've been drinking juice like this. This is my water for 20 years every day. So today's topic, I don't have a topic actually. I'm thinking of going through YouTube and going through YouTube stuff because on YouTube, talking about random stuff, non-technical, social, and commentary, and about programming communities and so on. Because I noticed that a lot of people, I mean, even those who follow me, they don't really know. Like often I talk about programming language design issues or some esoteric detail, like even closure. I got a comment from a friend who follows me often, and from a lot of other people. Like every time I talk about something, I don't mean to point to like particular person, because actually this is accumulated experience. I mean, I'm talking about lots of guys from who follow me, and I have the sense that, and so one guy, I thought he's in China, and he studies, from what I see, he studies programming languages, and he studies Idris, which is a very advanced, the next generation of Haskell, basically. And he also studies racket scheme, Lisp. So I thought he must know Clojure, but from his comment, he's made a comment on my YouTube saying that it seems to suggest that talking about Clojure is difficult to listen to, because you know and but also like my topics, like I also many often talk about many of these programming language design topics, and truly really they are not, it's kind of advanced. It's a sorry state of things in society where uh, the more advanced, the less people you're gonna get, watching you or following you, because that's kind of just reality. Like, if you talk about math, professional math, like professional mathematicians, when they talk about math, you got, if you are really good, like, if you are the best, if you won the world's most prestigious math awards, like this guy, some of them, they sometimes do videos. you get 10,000 people watching the video at most. That that's supposed you are the best in the world. Out of 7 billion people, you got 30,000 people. In general, if you are just let's say you are a random math professor, you teach math. uh, that's your job. You teach math every day, but the number of people who watch the video, under 1,000, that's kind of a sad state of things. On the other hand, those fucking teen girls, they watch makeup videos, makeup drama, makeup and gamers on YouTube. Fuck, they get a million, 10 million followers. And there are thousands of them, 10 million followers. What the fuck? So I'm thinking. So when I talk about programming languages, these esoteric programming language design issues, closure, ontology of programming languages. Uh, you know, I get the feeling that there's really not that many people. I mean, these are my followers, you guys, but still, in general, not there's a lot less people. But if I talk about non-technical topic like what's happening, what's the drama in programming communities, the drama in Emax dev communities, Richard Stallman, oh, what he did again, then people bump it up. Drama is always like this thing. People just like drama is the attraction, central attraction. Hi, Andrew. So let me read the comments. I have a question for you. Great. Have you ever had a conflict with a coworker? I guess I have. Yes, some. Was there ever a coworker that you disliked or did not get along with? Yeah, absolutely. Why did you dislike them and how did it work out? Okay, let me tell you. So my job experience with in a corporation is not just few years. So in 1995, a Wolfram research has half a year. But there was a big story. I was an intern. Okay, I was supposed to be an intern. I was supposed to be just there for a month for the summer of 1995. But I ended up staying for half a year and I left. Okay, but so the during the short time I was there, I made a, I was, so I made this, there is a company forums, private to the company where the programmers there, employees talk about chat random things. So they are talking about something I forgot, they are talking, and so I was, also joined the chat and I was talking about my experience of one day I microwaved a spider, okay? Spider in microwave oven. It's not something, it's not something that I'm proud to talk about. But as you can see, this is not something you want to say. I forgot what is the context. I think they are comparing like this is 1995. Remember, this is very different from today's kind of air of things. So 1995, and most of the people programmers are nerds. Nerds talk about these things all the time, and they are comparing like what's the strangest thing you did something. So I was, I was not a social person with tact. So I didn't. I just talked about one day I was putting a spider in a microwave, and that blew up. And then I made enemies. So but I don't remember that. This is 1995, so it's like 25 years ago. I know there are some people I kind of I don't remember the names, but that's long ago. Okay, so that's one thing. But my other work experience in a corporation is around 1998 to 2002 at Natopia, and we are a startup. We have like 5 engineers. I mean, mostly it's Notopia, but I worked, a year before that at Brainpower, which is a startup. It's all startups. So, but anyway, at Notopia, they are people who don't I don't get along. Not really. I don't really have like I typically don't in a social situation I don't I usually keep to myself. I don't express my views. But I know that I'm kind of oddball. They find you weird because I'm a schizoid. I don't talk to people. I'm a loner. The way people understand is by the word loner. I prefer to be alone. And in social situations, like in a meeting, I usually don't speak up because when I do speak up, it tends to be like, oh, everyone is like shocked or or maybe offensive or something. Okay, but anyway, but it's different now here in my because I'm doing video. This is a talk show. You are seeing, I'm talking whatever I want. I don't have a social environment that limits me, except Google, who they are doing censorship. But anyway, so in a meetings, I usually when they talk about some ideas or decisions or something, I usually don't speak up. I wondered why, because I know why. Because this may be offensive to to for me to say, because usually like their ideas, I don't like usually I don't speak up then, but when you don't speak up, people think you are not, maybe they think you don't have, they think you are not, yeah, I mean, you are, technically speaking, you are not contributing, because in a meeting, you're supposed to, everyone, if you have an opinion, you say it, maybe they have some question about engineering design decision. What should we do? Should we do it this way or that way? You know, uh, but usually I don't, because I know myself. I'm not too. I'm often not fluent in social situations, and I'm usually not able to speak my mind, communicate what my ideas in a smooth manner. Normal way, normal people. Okay, fuck normal people. So I know that. I mean, it's just from experience. So I don't usually speak up, and often their decisions, their thoughts are idiotic. Okay, to me, because usually when they talk about some decisions, I know right away. This is wrong. This is just this is factually wrong. You are thinking, this is just wrong. Um, I mean, I also have my personal flaws. Okay, so because I tend to be, as far as I know, I observed from people's reaction, I tend to be, let's say, some people call me magnomaniac, megalomaniac. And always concerned about myself. My own, my intelligence. Uh, so anyway, so usually I don't speak up, and often when they talk about things, I can tell right away they are wrong. But I'm not able to, come up and, hey, say, express myself in a smooth manner. Say, oh, I heard, like for example, when in a meeting, let's say in a decision, they ask a question, what's you guys' opinion, and and if you know right away there's a mistake there, you might raise your hand or something and say, oh, by the way, I saw that situation, last year, and so therefore this is actually the right way is this way. Then people, oh yeah, yeah, oh thanks, they understand. But I cannot do that without effort, without so usually I if I say something, it ends up like, no, that's just stupid. It's just directly like that. That's idiotic. Okay, that's so so there's that. And then there's also the issue of conflict, like when like So in this meeting, you have a question, and everyone, they ask your opinions. So if I say my opinion, then some people may not agree. Okay, so, I say, okay, string should be, you should call this function to do it. Let's say I say that, but then let's say my coworker, let's say even a friend, in a meeting, oh, he said, oh, no, no, actually, no, that's not true because this or that, maybe he raised that issue, but then you know if I agree, then that's fine. But if I don't agree, again, I'm not able to express my disagreement in a smooth way. I started to just say things that unpopular, and yeah. So this is all about social interaction, uh, disabilities. It's, well, it's something along that line of not able to interact with people in a smooth way. And also because of all these reasons, also I tend, usually when I have an opinion, and this happens in my video as well, like I kind of think everyone knows that already, so I don't say it. I don't um, I feel like if I say it, then it's like maybe I'm too flashy, self-conscious and all that. So I don't usually I don't do that. But as I'm doing more videos, I this in the past month, past half a year, I started to you learn things. So I started to talk more smoothly about things I want to say. Especially, I mean, the point here. There's one point I want to mention is that actually a lot of things when I'm talking about, sometimes I tend to like just um, hand wave and not talking about something too much. But actually, I should. You should just confidently when even small things, take your time, confidently talk about that, express it fully, because actually a lot of people, they just don't know. That's what uh, about that question. Okay, it seems that there's a lot comments. Let me answer them. So how many people? Five. Let me guess. Eight. Oh, a lot of people. So yeah. So hello and makeup videos. Yeah. So hey Andrew, what's your sleep schedule? Yeah, I mentioned that several times. I don't have one. This is surprising, and it's hard to stick to for people to realize. Like, I do not really have a sleeping schedule. That means in the past 20 years at least, I sometimes sleep in the daytime, like sleep at 8 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 2 o'clock, something like that. Sometimes I sleep at 10 o'clock in the morning and wake up. Sometimes I do two cycles per day. So I sleep 4 hours, wake up for 8 hours or four, something like that. Then sleep again for 4 hours. Do this for half a year. So for the past at least 20 years, it's like that. Uh, but if I have a job, of course you cannot. Usually you cannot do that. But typically when I have a job, the situation is I stay up at night until like 5 or 6 in the morning. um, yeah, so I don't have a sleeping schedule. So that is why you see me round the clock. The word time around the clock. Um, Hold on. So let me show you a video graph. Okay, that's day and night. Let's show you. Go to Emax blog, search for day and night. Let's search it. So this is 2009 January. What is it? I don't know what it is. Let's search for I know not. Oh, let's search for, actually, let's go to my image directory and let's search for GitHub. Jesus. Every time I want to find something, I cannot find it something. Ah, where can I find? Okay, let's search for night. Let's search for hour. What? Let's search for day. Git. Okay, so let's go to programming blog then. xali.info. Let's search for. Let's go to image directory. Let's search for night. Let's search for GitHub. Let's see, what is this? Oh, this is GitHub. Oh yeah, that's stupid GitHub. Let's search for. Let's see, what is this? GitHub angry pink unicorn. I Let's search for sleep. No match. Okay, let's go to sleep. Ah, I have a GitHub. They used to have a graph that shows you the hours you contributed over the past month or over the past year. Something, I forgot what's the period. But if you look at, so I have a screenshot of my graph. The dots of the hours throughout 24 hours a day. It's all over. There's no empty period. But I cannot find the image. I feel like I have to find that image now. Git. Out of Git. Okay. Good morning, Aldo. So let me read. Just let me read the comments then. Break the Loop says, you know what is a crazy thing on YouTube? Opening toys video for kids. They get like 10 million views. Oh my god. No, I didn't know that. So let's go to YouTube. The source of drama and everything. YouTube is fantastic. So YouTube opening toys. Okay. Opening toys. By the way, I've been trying to look up the Lex guy you told me yesterday. Break the loop. The Lex guy. So then I ran into this Stephen Wolfram's video. Lex Friedman. I haven't found out what exactly Lex Friedman is. That Joe Rogan's video, I watched the first like 15 minutes or 20 minutes. It seems boring. I haven't, and he does not seems to have a Wikipedia entry. 100 toy openings. That's amazing. You have a kid? Break the loop. Yeah. So the videos on YouTube are amazing. Like I talked about it yesterday. It's like a sea. You only know like a drop in an ocean. Like you don't know what is out there unless you know a word to search for. So it's like I have never come across all these toy opening videos, but apparently, like you said, there are like thousands of them. uh, and by the way, also about half a year ago, Tim Pool or Timcast, this guy reported a news where they have these creepy videos for children that you know it's like it's really creepy. It's extremely weird. And also it's been on the news for the recent year also that there are a lot parents, they force their children or child to make YouTube videos. So apparently that there seems to be a lot videos of children. I mean, not adults. It's just children, doing YouTube videos, and apparently there are a lot of views. You make money. So because there's been on the news that some parents are abusing their kids to force them to make YouTube videos, because I suppose after a while the kids gets tired. They maybe sometimes they don't want to, but the parents says you have to, or beat them or something like that. So yeah, so YouTube is just incredible. So, and also the other thing I mentioned in the other talk is that the video format today, the technology allow us to do the video format is actually far more natural, significantly than reading and writing. Than textual information. Textual information is kind of artificial. We programmers or a lot of nerds, think reading and writing is the best thing. It's a literature. It's the educated way to learn things. But it's actually it's kind of advanced level, because the video format with human expression and talking directly, that is actually a magnitude more natural. And I think that is also the reason things like YouTube exploded, like tremendous videos, because most people, you just want, you are not every day, you are not thinking, oh, I need to master something, I need to learn some new knowledge. It's not like that. Most people, vast majority, including us programmers, we just, you spend your day, you want just to watch videos, even for learning. You don't want to, like, almost like a professor, like doing a research. It's not like that. You just, watch videos. That's a very natural thing. So when I first found out about them, like opening egg toys videos, I was flabbergasted how many millions of views they got. Yeah, it's quite amazing. Uh, so let's see. Let's order them by filter. Sort by view count. Oh, oh my God! This one is 967 million views, and it's only 3 years ago. Wow! So, so let me guess how much money this particular video made. In general, it's like 1,000 views gives you $1. So 967 million views is like $967,000. Yeah, that's how much you earn. So this video by itself is earning $1 million. What? My God, what is it? And YouTube, the Google organization, they knew it. They have all the stats. They don't, they are extremely evil. They don't, they always appear, in Google blogs and so on, to tell us how, oh, we are helping humanity and so on, this or that. But these things they know, and they know, like I mentioned, Teamcast reported half a years ago. There's thousands of extremely creepy children's videos that talk about, for example, they talk about Spider-Man. They have a cartoon of Spider-Man. Okay, something. Spider-Man is taking a shot in the ass. The syringe, the needles, and Spider-Man pieces on some other pieces on eggs or some very weird and things. You can find that if you search. Uh, I suppose if you search children Spider-Man P, you'll find those kind of reports. So that was on the news. You have like thousands of them, and they are making a lot of money. And YouTube, it's I'm pretty sure YouTube, Google, they know it, but they are not saying anything because it's money. It's money for them. So anyway, so when I first found out about that, okay, so leave a kid alone with an iPad, they'll watch videos like 10 times. Yeah. Good morning, Andrew. Yeah, that's what I heard, because, the algorithm just keeps playing. Good morning, Jack Liu. Good morning to China. Why do I use Mac OS? Actually, I answered that, before too as well because basically the reason is that I got this Mac OS free, Mac OS Mini free from a professor because I did work for him. So that's my keyboard, that's my mouse. It's like I'm showing this every time I do a video. So I got a Mac OS Mini in 2017. He gave me free, and so it's good. And by the way, Mac OS is just good. I talked about this a few times. I used Mac OS from 1991 to 2008 or 2009. Then I used Windows for 3 years. Then I used Linux for 4 years. And by the way, I was Solaris sysadmin from 1998 to 2002. Uh, so I came from the Unix background, and Linux sucks donkey ass by a magnitude. All the things you hear from the Linux people, they say it's complete bullshit. Your brain is completely brainwashed. Like there's no comparison scientifically in any way. So if you are the type of guy who says, "Oh, I use Linux, and Linux compared to Mac OS or in Windows is about the same or even better," I mean, even if you say it's about the same, your brain, you got a problem. Okay, you can ask me to explain that if you want. Anyone, I'll explain in detail. You are actually technically you are kind of delusional. And that's not surprising either. I mean, that's not, don't be surprised by that because a lot of people in code, in code, they believe impossible things such as the end is coming. The end is coming. UFO is, we are controlled by aliens. They are really, a lot of people seriously believing that. And this in code, you get, there are quite a lot of these Scientology, Falun Gong, and Moon, quite a lot. And also this ties to religion. Religion, I don't care. Religion, you believe, lots of things. God, atom. Women is made from a rib of a bone from a man. Then some people, you may think, oh, that's just allegory. It's just, it's not. Of course, you don't really believe that as true, but actually, a lot of people do believe that. So when you look at these people, religion or people in code, obviously, so you can see it clearly. They are kind of delusional, but also it gives you, it shows you concretely how people can believe something while other people, it's just preposterous to most other people. So in my belief, in my opinion, okay, it's the same way happening to the, those people who like to say that Linux is better than Mac OS. Yeah, maybe in the server, okay, but not as a desktop. I'm talking about as user interface, desktop, how easy to use, how easy to install. For my followers, I still have people, trying to tell me that Linux is. Oh, I have no problem, but that you are delusional. Uh, Sorry, why I switched to PC? Okay, so this is an article I explained how why I switched from Mac to Windows. in 2009. Yeah, so I switched to Windows. I was on Windows for like as my desktop, okay, for like 3 or 4 years. Then I switched to Linux about 3 years or four. Then in 2017 August, I'm back to Mac because I got a free Mac. And as far as which is better and so on, it's which one is better. They stay the same for the past 20 years. Basically, Linux is great. I really love Linux because it's not controlled by corporations. Corporations control things. They have greed. They have possible government backdoors. They have whatever and you have to pay every month, every year. Okay, so Linux is great, but however, it's also the worst of worst almost in every way how you use the system as a desktop at least. Okay, Linux is worse in every way. It wastes your time. I have if anyone wants me to talk about this in technical details, I can do that for 1 hour. I mean, I'm going to give you technical programming, kernel, whatever, memory usage, technical details, how Linux is just a magnitude worse than Mac or Windows. Okay, but it's not just that. What I want to say. I don't really want that. Because when I'm using Linux, it's open source, it's free. I really want it to be great, successful. But it just, it's so sad it's not happening. And it's just it will never happen. It's we've been I've been open source for 20 years. The Linux open source free software started 30 years ago, 40 years ago almost. um, so I really want to it to succeed, but it's not. Why? I can tell you why directly. Short answer: because it's a code. Because it has formed into this code thinking. This every day you see people are talking about. Oh, I use Linux. I think it's great. It's even easier to use than Mac or Windows. It's better. Linux is not. You know, it's in this worst state because of these people. Because these people, it's a code. Therefore, you have this tenet and this ideology. Open source, part of it is open source. You want to believe in ideology. You have a vision, but your vision. So what you see, what you do, what you perceive is not reality. So every day you keep saying fake news, basically false stuff. You keep saying when Linux is apparently to any person in the world, to your dad, to your parents, to any worker, apparently it's the worst one. But you keep saying, oh, it's no problem. It's actually better than Windows. It is these people that you know that forever keeps Linux not going anywhere. It's like there's just no going anywhere. It's really kind of sad. Uh, Yeah, I know these kind of things because I wallow in a community of open source and Unix. That is my community. I'm a nerd. I'm a hacker type. So when people ask me why do I use Mac, usually I'm guessing you are leaning. Not you specifically, but I get this question a lot. I can tell a lot of people of my followers are into Linux, right? A lot of them, and they are also Mac OS users. And yeah, and Mac OS users, Mac OS its own problems. Okay, Linux has this problem. The good thing about Linux is it's open source. Okay, and that's good, but it's actually technically, as far as desktop goes, it's the worst. It's not just worst between Mac and Windows. It's a magnitude worse. It's worse to the situation. There's no comparison. Okay, whatever you hear, whatever opinions, that's not this. It's just delusional. That's my opinion. And I can If I know there's a Luke Smith guy, and anyone, if you want the argument, I can debate with you. I can talk about this for hours. Okay, that's Linux, but Mac has its own problems. Mac and Windows. Mac is the Apple Corporation. Apple Corporation in the 1990s is truly the most innovative company in the world. They advanced computer to the masses by they invented desktop publishing, which in turn give us a lot of freedoms. It moves the publishing business out of into homes, into each person. You can begin to publish and so on. You have laser printers. You have the first one to bundle with CD player. They are the first one to actually push mouse forward. Mouse for everyone, computer mouse. They are the first one to to popularize graphical user interface. Truly, that makes people actually be able to use computers, not just nerds. They are also the first. Lots of they are also the first to have USB built-in. Like they follow technology innovation. Like they are innovation. Apple throughout 1990s up to about 2005, I would say. Okay. Um, well, actually, you can say, let's say, to 2010. Okay, give them credit. So Apple is great, but the other thing is Apple is like a corporation, and they squeeze money at every possible way they can. Uh, you know, so comparatively, Apple products, the same power, the same CPU, the same memories, and all the same. Apple's computer is like twice as expensive, twice or one half times more expensive than a PC. Okay, and exact same mouse. Every peripheral, if it's sold for Windows, let's say it's $50, but if it's sold for Mac, it's $100. That applies to almost every peripheral, mouse, pen, or whatever. That's a situation. So Apple has also associated with this snobby elite kind of community people, the Mac users. They are fanatic. Yeah, they this is kind of problem. Okay, but I was an Apple fan throughout 1990s. But however, since maybe around 2010, Apple has become, I would say, rather extremely evil, and also they have ceased innovation, kind of. Apple also created the phone for us. How we everyone has a phone now, smartphone. That's because of Apple. You know, Microsoft. They tried to do it, they failed because Apple has the knack of marketing, so-called, by Steve Jobs. He's the greatest salesman. But anyway, so Apple. But in the past 5 or so years, Apple has become one of the, I would say, rather very evil company. In the ethical sense, similar, just like Google and Facebook. For example, all these companies, they have 1,000 patents. They sue each other. They do whatever they can. They hire, the most expensive lawyers. Sue Apple, suing Microsoft, suing Google suing Apple, because they do that. But meanwhile, they lie. Apple, they say they are green. They are using recycled material and all that bullshit. But actually, they prevent you from fixing Apple products. Now these days, this fact is becoming very popular. You search, you find all articles or YouTube videos about that. They prevent people from fixing Apple phone or your Mac. They build things so that they are integrated, not replaceable. You cannot replace it. Because why? Because they want you to buy a new Mac every 1 year or two, or new phone. Every time there's a new phone, they push their software so that your phone becomes slower. Now that is extremely evil. That is illegal. Okay, so the people are suing Apple for that, but it's not just this one incident. So you begin to see there's lots of for example, I show you this Apple thing. Okay, you see Apple this activity monitor. Okay, let me show you. So you have this activity monitor. This is like a CPU monitor, like Linux top. Um, then you have this energy panel. The energy panel. So supposedly it shows you energy impact. Oh, how great it is. So why this panel? Supposedly, I actually don't know, but I do know what they want to achieve here. It's kind of like it tells you they are trying to be, they're trying to save energy, for the environment and so on. But meanwhile, they prevent people fixing their phone. So every year, you have tens of thousands, millions of phone just throw away. Like we are entering this era. So every 2 years, when there's a new phone, what do you do with your old phone? You either sell it or throw away. When you sell it, eventually people are gonna throw away too because you know um you throw away a phone that that's so anyway. So that's Apple. And Microsoft is pretty much the same story. Microsoft, their product, the GUI is not as good as Apple. It's just kind of stupid. But however, it's much better. It's usable and much better than Linux. Okay, Microsoft. And when you buy a computer, usually it's bundled. You can use it, but then there's you don't know if they are tracking you. All those kind of things. Microsoft is renowned for. So yeah, so you have these three choices: Linux, Mac, or Windows. Neither one of them is really great. So if you ask me if I have which one would I get, that depends. If I have money, I'll probably just buy Apple. If I let's say if I have a job, I'll buy Apple. I'll just use Apple. Now, if I don't have money like right now, and a lot of people who watch me, I know also are this kind of weird, very poor situation. No money, no job, not working. Just wandering around. Well, then obvious choice is Linux. What can you do? Uh, you know, yeah. Uh, but if you are average people, then you just go with Microsoft. Microsoft is not very expensive. Then especially if you are gamers, then you just buy a PC with Microsoft. So okay, that's a lot of talk on that topic. Uh, let's see, 5 people watching. Okay, so Lex Friedman is an engineer, academic working on autonomous driving at MIT. Okay, he also has his own podcast interviewing people. Okay, so like that, Stefan Wufab one. Okay, I do not have kids. Okay, no plan to. Oh, my friend has 2 kids, and I've been seeing them watching opening toy videos. Imagine making millions of dollars opening toys on camera. Unbelievable. Yeah. So I'm going to watch, this video later on just to see what the hell it is. Yeah, so I guess they just play, opening toys and opening toys and play with it. It's only 7 minutes. This video got them $1 million. My God. So yeah, so about making money, there's a lot opportunities out there. I think so. I think that's true. There's really a lot opportunities. You have to find it. You just have to find it. So so Andrew says, how did you get the Emacs toolbar to blend in with that background? I talked, someone asked me this before. Uh, the the this this that is a bug actually, because if I oops, hold on a second. Uh, oops. So if I open a new window, you see this is how it should look like, with a bar at top. But not on the others. For example, let me close this window. So you can see the bar here, right? Now, hold on a second. Now I'm gonna quit Emacs and go to my terminal and start it again. You will see that bar disappears. This is a bug in Emacs 26. I'm not sure exactly why it happens. You see, it's actually no good. But I've just got used to it. It's You see, if I open a new window, the bar shows again. So that is actually a bug in Emacs 26. Maybe you could record, and upload a video on this channel about why Linux is worse. It may be quite successful if done right, since all the tech YouTubers. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, because right now with my talk show, the way it is going, it's not going anywhere. Each video you get 50 watchers or maybe 100, and I know why, because I'm talking random. I don't have fixed topics, and sometimes just rambling, and no fixed schedule, so people don't know when to come on and what topic it is. And I also mentioned this several times in my talks, because uh, but but I also know what to do if I really want to become popular. For example, instead of like live chat, live chat is usually is not good. You do a video 10 minutes. One way to learn is always watch other people, how other people do. Watch how other successful people. So, for example, you go to YouTube, you see a lot of people have millions followers. You look at them. I have done that. What kind of topics, and what style, how long the video lasts. I have done that, because also I'm doing websites, so I know a lot about these things. So, for example, if I want to be popular, first of all, stop swearing like fuck this or fuck that. Okay, stop that, because that's not conductive to your to get a lot of followers. Okay, then be focused. Like every day you have to follow a schedule. This is important if you want to be popular or make money. Okay, every day at specific time. Let's say 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, post a video like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, focused on a specific topic. I have, for example, for me, I might do it for Emacs every day. Just do a short Emacs topic. That will be popular, because a lot of people, they don't care about your opinions or philosophy. They want to learn something. That's one way to go. Okay, I mean, there are many styles, but one of the ways, I focus on Emacs every day, 10 minutes, a short Emacs tutorial on something about Emacs. Maybe once in a while, I talk about the Emacs community, as a non-technical one. Talk about Richard Stallman, what's going on, give people updates, do that regularly, and maybe once every week, or every 2 weeks, I do a live show, like live. Then people can ask me questions. So that's one way to go. I'm pretty sure that way you'll get more popular, and you'll be more popular. But that's not me. Okay, that's because if I want to do that, then maybe I would have just work in a company. That would make no brainers $10,000 a month. But then, so that's one way. Another way is, so if you don't want, if you want, Emacs for all it's worth, it's really a niche subject. If you talk about Emacs, the most you can have, the audience is very limited, and also particularly because of the open source. Emacs is heavily tied to free software and open source communities. So these people in general, they are nerds or hackers. In general, they don't pay. A lot of people may not agree. You may not agree, but in general, they don't pay. They don't. Either they are poor themselves. They are like just wandering, jobless. Or they have strong belief in open source and free software foundation. Okay, but these beliefs do not prevent you from paying. You still can pay people, but in general, they don't. They are like that's why I don't like this open source. They are kind of ideology. Okay, at one time they say, oh, we will donate. Don't put ads. I like it. I like your website very much. I will put money to it. I don't like Google ads. Take it off. Yeah. When ads becomes an issue on the news, everyone says that. In reality, nobody does it. Okay, nobody, no open source do that. A few. If you put ads, you have 100 times more money. That's because I know. Because I've done this for like 20 years. Uh, you know, you you ask for donation, you get $10 a month. You don't ask for donation, you put Google ads, you get hundred, you get 1,000, $100 a month, a few hundred. Okay, if you don't do anything else, just slap on ads and forget about it. Yeah, so you get 100 times more money. So that's one thing. So open source free software Emacs people, you are not going to make money out of them. Not 10% from make enough to be for a living. Okay, not forget about that. You would be happy if you can get a if the money you make from doing Emacs tutorial can supply you with food money, then that's you should be happy enough. Because the Emacs people, this or that, they don't pay. Okay. um so Emacs is a niche thing. So and I've been in Emacs for 20 years. I heard all the talks, and it's not doing me any good. And you spend like I spend like full time on it. Uh, let's say 3 hours a day, every day, including Saturday and Sunday. You don't get money, and all my packages, and yeah, there's these people. So I really these days, okay, I really despise these open source people. Then you have the hypocrites. Okay, this there are a lot of people. They work for Google, they work for Facebook a day. So they make $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. They rich and fat. They have all Apple toys. They can buy any Apple best computer when it comes out. Oh, Apple came out with a new Mac. They buy it right away. Then next year they get a new one. They have all the toys. So they drive Tesla. Oh yeah, we are saving the earth. They drive Tesla and so on. But then at night they do open source. You say, oh yeah, I'm for the good of the world. So they do open source coding. They want to do open source. So what does that mean? That means they rob. These people fed, being fed from these extremely evil and greedy corporations. Non open source. Okay, the Google product. It's not open source my ass. Some of them, okay, just for the public relations. But they own 100 patents, thousands of patents. Google, Facebook, all these companies. So these programmers work for them. At night, then they do open source. Oh yeah, they churn out their software, put on GitHub. So what's the effect? That means they rob, or the other open source programmers, like me, okay, who do not work for these greedy evil corporations, because I have this, I cannot compete with them. They have the tools and everything, and they work in the corporate environment. Then they churn out, libraries. They all say, yeah, use this. You cannot even compete because, as you know, you go GitHub, everything, there's a library, and they are all pushing for their libraries. They are all pushing. Oh yeah, especially these corporate fuckheads, these open source programmers who work for Google and Facebook. By day, they work at Google. By night, they say, "Oh, we are open source," and they push their own libraries, like on Magit, on the Emax repository. They push. You cannot compete them because they create beautiful logos. They have time. They create beautiful animations, and they have a bunch of followers because open source fan. Oh yeah, we also, so all the open source fans support him. Push magic and all the Helm and software. They become this giant thing. And what I do, what can I do? Oh, that guy, fucking that's a fuckhead. He complains about open source all day and night, and he swear at people. You don't get followers. So that's what happens. This, what they are doing, they are just hypocrite. They are just these programmers who are open. So why they open source? They feel better, so they can feel better working at for Google. Taking the dirty money. Two thousand 20,000 a month, and they feel good. Oh, I'm a open source. I'm for the good of the world. Then I help women. I help the poor. The feminism, social justice. That's what happens. That's what they are. Okay, so back to the question. So yeah, as far as making money, that's so I to for my own videos. So besides Emacs, there are a lot of other ways can do. I can talk about um, anyway. The thing is, that's not my thing. Okay, I am poor for a reason because because I can't. That's I don't want to do things that's kind of dictated by money. So my ideal is I do whatever I do. If you if people if you followed me and you liked it, then you put money. Yeah, that's the ideal. If everyone can do that in a society, that would be actually a true like utopia of the open source kind of way. You do things, people like it, people donate. you know but in reality, that's not actually happens. 1,000, it's more like 1,000 people like your stuff. They like, not just me. Okay, I know other people. Tim Pool and many people. I have observed these kind of things. A lot of people on YouTube. They make all these videos, great content. Some people you follow them all the time, but you don't pay. Basically, 1,000 people. Maybe you get one people. Paying you for it. And also, meanwhile, these corporations, they are so powerful, and Google, Facebook, and Microsoft, and also news organizations, they create fake news to they 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 kind of just they create, you know by whatever means they can, with money, with their powerful money, they create situations so that they will thrive forevermore. The money will come to them forevermore. While those of you, who are, independent, that insignificant individual person, you are going to get less and less powerful. And they actually, like company like Google, they actually intentionally force that to happen by by quite a lot of ways. Okay, and so today I see those open source people. You are just um, you are doing good to nobody, and in fact you are doing harm to yourself. You become this niche, forever niche and niche and niche and powerless group that in society borderline on being illegal, because Google and Facebook and every day they point at you, look at these, and they have newspapers, they have wide propaganda that's 10,000 times than whatever you say people will believe. Like you cannot even believe what you read. How do you know what is true? You don't know these days. Hacker can be bought. Like today maybe you are so much into open source, and tomorrow Microsoft says, "Hey, you are hired. Come on board," and you run into go work for Microsoft. And your thinking change. You start to think, oh yeah, I'm going to join Microsoft. You make a blog announcement. I'm going to join Microsoft, but I'm there to help them change their mind to push for open source. That's a lie. That's a lie you tell yourself so that you can work for Microsoft. That's basically what human people do. That's human nature. That's how if you don't pay attention to human nature, that's how the world is the way they are. uh, so let's see, let's see the comments. And um, imagine making millions. So how did I get Emax to us? So Andrew says maybe you could write. Okay, um, so break the loop says, did you hear the news about the United States barring companies from working with Huawei? Yeah, that's big news for the past few months. So Huawei's Android phones will not get updated after 3 months, and will not have access to Google Store apps. Oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah, but I've been hearing that on the news for the past 3 months. And actually, I know some of these stories are not true. Some I don't know the details for sure. Uh, I haven't actually studied the issue, but from a little I've seen, I know there are some articles that's just propaganda. For example, I think I don't remember where, but usually by news, U.S. news organizations like New York Times, or these big corporations, they publish, or some of the academia, like front end of a government backed or corporation backed front end, some academic organ group. Okay, they published a study, like they published a study about how Huawei, exactly what is Huawei's tie with China's government. Okay, so in this study or paper, like academic paper, they like supposedly independent, they will say basically the conclusion is that Huawei is actually just a front end of Chinese government. Okay, that's basically that's what they want to tell you. Okay, so meaning that on the surface Huawei is a corporation, but actually no, it's just China, the government of China. So therefore, we should ban Huawei because China is controlling the chips and so on. So that paper is just false. That paper is a propaganda. That I know for sure. Okay, let's say 99%. I'm not going to devote days to study research this issue. But anyway, I'm like 99% sure that paper is just blatant propaganda. Like we have so many of that today. Um, like if you are really interested, like today, information, there are sea of information, but it's different from 20 years ago when internet was not there. Okay, today even we have sea of information. We are buried by info, and half of it, no, almost all of it is fake news. But the difference between today and 30 years ago is that today, if you as a person, if you really want to know the truth, you can find out. First of all, remove all the prejudice or bias you have within yourself. For example, like if you are American, pretend you are Chinese, pretend you are betting with someone for $10,000, or 1 month of your pay, your whatever you make for 1 month, you are making a bet such that you want to create a report, proof that Chinese is right, China is right, okay, whatever is the issue, but US is actually the bad guy. you know First of all, pretend that, then you try to do research. In other words, you want to look both ways, okay. um yeah, so today's situation, there's a sea of information, but each person, if you really want to know the truth, you can find out. You can actually, you know digging website, from website, information, you'll find out, what is true, what is not true. But there's a problem. The problem is, once you found out, you found out so many truths, what you gonna do? There is almost nothing you can do. Yeah, that's the situation today, because I have looked a lot into a lot of things. Take an example for example, let's say my opinion about Linux, my opinion about open source free software, or Emax. Maybe you say I'm biased, but let's suppose I'm not for a moment. Okay, so I know all this truth about Unix, open source. What am I gonna do? There's nothing I can do, because they are an army. There's an army of open source. There's an ideology. Okay, so there are thousands of open source fans. Whatever you say, the moment you say it, let's say I'm creating. Suppose I'm using Linux and I run into a problem. That's really a stupid problem. Okay, nasty problem. Suppose I post a Twitter, you are going to get like, a lot of people. They will immediately tell you, no, no, you should contribute your code. No, you are wrong, because whatever you say gets wiped out. The same thing if you post to Reddit. Nobody, you get banned or you get thumbs down. Nobody gonna see it. That's what happens on Twitter as well. So this is suppose I'm talking about Linux and stuff, Emacs stuff. But anyway, but you can imagine, something about politics, some issue on the news that you really know the truth. What you gonna do then? What you gonna do next? This it's very hard to do anything, because you try to say it on Twitter, you get banned. Then these corporations, they spread propaganda. Like, that's the meaning of propaganda. They find all possible ways. The FBI, the government, they have psychologists, who specializes in, human controlling thought. They have all, uh so there's very little you can do. So let's see, round corner versus straight edge. I forgot what's that about. Round corner. So RMW says, isn't that like the same thing as putting ads on your page? Doesn't that make you a bit of an hypocrite? No, no. Let me explain that. Okay. Now, I personally believe that everyone is a hypocrite in some way. Yeah, that's true. But let me explain my website. So I have a website beginning in 1997. Okay, I don't have a domain in 1997. I don't have a domain of my own. But back in 1997, my website, the domain is best.com, and tilde xa or xali, I think it's xa. That is my domain. Okay, I mean that's my URL back in 1997 to 2000. And you can still find traces of it, from Web Archive linked to that website. buy this domain. Okay, so anyway, so if you try to search this string, you'll find history of it. Okay, so from 1997 to 2000, that is my URL. Then in 2000, I have xali.org. Okay, and I don't have any ads. I don't have, in fact, the entire Emacs tutorial. My entire Emacs tutorial is in a zip file. Download. You can click to download, free, no ads. The entire Emacs tutorial. So anyway, so from 2000 to 2009 or 2010, I have xali.org. There's just one domain, and everything is free. I don't have any ads. Okay, and people download my Emacs tutorial. I have logs. I have logs. Oh my God, I have gone through poverty that I lost files left and right. So I don't know. So, but I may still. I think it's somewhere there. I have logs. People download my Emacs tutorial, the zip file. Lots of times, and and some people use the web crawler to crawl everything when I don't have the zip file. Uh, so I don't have any Google ads until around 2010. I was like dying from hunger. Then I started to put uh, ads, okay, Google ads, and in fact, Google banned me, left and right. Anyway, that's a long story. I can talk for another hour about that with proof, with documentation. Okay, but the point is, if that's one of the thing, the open source fuckheads, they blame you like, oh, you have ads. No, I don't have ads for 10 years until the day I was literally like dying of hunger. Like I'm hungry. Not because, oh, I don't want to eat something because I'm tired of it. I don't have not a thing to eat. I want to buy a banana that's 50 cents. I don't have 50 cents. I'm digging through trash to eat. This is around 2011. So that's why I put ads. Then the open source market, then you have ads. Then people go to your site, they see ads. Oh yeah, oh, he's putting ads there. This guy, no, we cannot trust him. That's what open source do. Not, I don't mean you, but people has comment. This has, I know this. Because I've been running websites for 20 plus years. There's lots of comments. I can show you the actual post, and but let's not do that maybe. Because it's not worthwhile to go over. So yeah, so the open source, they are scums. So the moment you have ads, and the people start to say all the bad things about you, ignoring that you have like 10 years or 5 years, whatever, you have things there for free for people. The entire Emacs tutorial since 2006. Like you can go to Wayback Machine and see the archive yourself. Wayback Machine. You don't see ads. Okay, everything I say is you can prove it. I'm not going to do this. You can do it. Let's do it. Let's go to, okay, Wayback Machine. Okay, so let's go here. Internet Wayback Machine. Go there. And okay, let's go to xali.org. http xali.org. Okay, you can see that this domain started in 2000. Okay, let's go to 2008. Let's pick 2008, and let's pick a date. It's March 29th. Okay, so that's my website. There's no ads. Everything is just like everything in one domain. And where's the Emacs here? Emax tutorial and Emax list tutorial, 70 pages. So let's click on Emax tutorial. So you see, that's my website back in 2000, 2008. Yeah. So yeah. So okay. Okay. Today, the topic just went from Mac OS and my rant about Linux and open source. Actually, I rant about this quite a few times in the past videos as well. That's um that's a problem. That's an issue because to me, today's talk is kind of wasted because I've talked about this few times in the past about open source. Um, about open source things. So I got 8 people watching still. Uh, so that's my Linux tutorial. Yeah, Linux. No, no, no. Okay, so no, what is this? Oh yeah, so one day, what is this? Start Linux. One day I'm going to start my own Linux. Use some properties. This post is random. Yeah. No virtual screen, no bitmap. Yeah, that's kind of this page is my quick blog. I don't. It's like I don't even remember it exists. No Shiba line. Yeah, that's also old. This is written in 2013. Keyboard user interface, and you see there's an item here. No Shiban. Where is it? Uh, no shell script, no Shiban line. Now if you guys are young, you don't know what is a Shiban line. Shiban line is the first character in a line of a shell script, basically the pound sign or the dot or the hashtag sign. And but today, few people know that. This is one of the one of the Unix philosophy fucks. Okay, one of the Unix philosophy fuckheads. They cling to Shiban. Technically, it's called Shiban line. Okay, why Shiban? Shiban is an English word meaning like the whole thing. Okay, but it just so happens like Shiban, and the Linux, the Unix fuckheads, they love this kind of wordplay or jargons. Okay, anyway, that's called a Shiban because that's the first character in a shell script has special meaning because the way Unix find executables is by looking at the first character. That's a hack basically. It's a Unix is full of these hacks, full of these ad hoc, one off situation, you know, without any particular reason, just so that they can get something to work. So that's one of so this is one of the thing every Unix fuckheads, the Unix philosophy people, elite hacker types, they will insist that you must have this line. Okay, now today you guys may not know, but this is like history now. They will insist if you don't do that, they will they will flame you, they will say you are a troll or something. But today, this kind of is like going away. It's just like Pearl. It's people don't know about it anymore, and people do not use it anymore. Why? Because it's just no good. It's extremely bad design. It's not something you want to do. So anyway, that's about the Shiba line. So anyway, back to this article. Yeah, I wrote this. This is one of the article I didn't. Yeah, I almost forgot. It's one of the rant. But your cousin is funny, hilarious. Yeah. So so RMW says. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I answered that. Danielle Langnois says not fake news, momentous news of Google cutting off its Android relationship with Huawei in response to government ban. China is really incredible. They are growing. So what is Chinese internet's reaction to the trade war? Uh, I haven't really followed that. I don't know for sure. Well, first of all, because let's go to Twitter. Actually, I'm not logged in. Uh, Sometimes around 2013 or 2002, like 2 years, 4 years ago, I spent 2 years in China's online forum. One of China's online forums, so that I talked to Chinese programmers every day. It's like IRC. It's like IRC. So I talked to Chinese programmers in Chinese, of course, mostly. Oh, yeah, so I talk to them every day. So you get to know people. You actually know them. I mean, meaning that you know what they are thinking. That's a key point. You have to mix in with the community. Then you talk with them, play with them, whatever, every day. Then you understand their mindset, whatever news, you can see their reaction. You really learn it. So I spent 2 years doing that, but I haven't been really talking to the Chinese programmer or Chinese programming community in the past few years. So I don't really know what do they think. But I think most, yeah, most Chinese people, in general, the population, they don't think about these things. They don't think, they don't. Yeah, in fact, yeah, they don't think about these things. They are just happy. They are just happy using their phone, and oh, China, they have. In many ways, I don't want, I think this is actually true. In many ways, Chinese has already surpassed US in so many ways, like you can actually see, for real. The infrastructure, the trains, the transportation, the skyscrapers in each city. Like you go there, you see all these fantastic skyscrapers and trains and all that. You don't see that in US. It's kind of. I think that's about it for today. 8 people. Okay, so I feel today's kind of wasted. Wasted because it's me ranting against open source stuff and Linux people, and to me, it felt like it's not news. Because that's not something I want to do because I got tired of it. The thing is, most people when you do a show, like my talk show, or if you are entertainers or a public speaker, it's almost like every time you go to a city, doing a lecture or whatever, or performance or whatever, people always want you to ask the same question for the millionth time. They want the singer to sing the same song for the millionth time because they haven't heard it before. That's what happens when you are a single person, but you are dealing with massive number of crowd. So I hear that happening to other to singers, for example, singers, performers, celebrities, or public speakers. You always have they get asked about the same question all the time. uh okay, so yeah, so today is like just rant. Let's see what else. Yeah, 19 minutes. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you next time. I felt that like I wanted to talk about something. I didn't get a chance to begin to actually there's something I wanted to talk about, but Daniel Langlo says Arm is a chip designer. It was acquired by Japanese telecom. Uh, as those days, anyway, people enjoy it. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.